Well, don't worry, he'll be there. Don't you worry, okay? He'll show up. But, for today and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it is going to be a little bit more of a kind of Jesus enclosed type of setting. But today's setting is from last Sunday's gospel, the raising of Lazarus. This is the conclusion of the Lazarus narrative. So the last couple days we saw the conversation with Jesus in the temple concerning the Feast of Tabernacles. But now, again, the church here on this Saturday morning brings us to this liturgy, to this reading, where Lazarus was just raised from the dead. He was brought back to life. And some Jews, as John says, many of them, and again, by Jews, we're referring to those Judeans in the southern region around Jerusalem. Many of them began to believe in Jesus, but some of them, again, probably kiss-ups to the Pharisees, always want to be in favor of them. They run to them and say, hey, this Jesus, he just brought Lazarus back to life. And so now they convene. And notice what happens. Caiaphas, the high priest, which was customary of the high priest at the time, started to say a prophecy. A prophecy that it is better for one man to die than the whole nation. So isn't that interesting? So here we have a man who's, again, contrary to the will of God, a man who is ignoring the signs that Jesus has just performed throughout this whole Gospel of John. A man, again, with probably more selfish intentions and self-serving intentions than that of God. And yet God is speaking through him. And yet God, through the evil intentions of his high priest, is going to create something good out of all this. Isn't it funny how God works? Brought back to this story I was thinking about this morning with the story of Joseph in Genesis. That's how Joseph kind of ends his story in the book of Genesis. He says, to his brothers, you intended to do evil against me, but God intended from that to do a lot of good out of it. Same with like the book of Exodus, at the very beginning, Pharaoh suppressing the Israelites, but through it, God is going to show his glory, including many Egyptians starting to find favor with Moses. In life, we only see the doom and gloom, and we have maybe no answers as to what's going on around us in our country or in our church, and we fall into despair and, all those sort of things. And we ask where God is working in all this, but no matter how hopeless the situation might appear to us, no matter how few answers there might be for us as to what we're supposed to do, God is never done. Never done. So in the same way that many of the Jewish peoples are against Jesus and against the Son of God coming, God's going to create something very, very special from all this that we're going to see next week. And it all begins with the hardness of heart of Caiaphas and his Sanhedrin around him. Never count God out. May God bless you.